Want to bite Prem Kumar, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, it's audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Participants are coming, sir. Can I wait for 5 more minutes, sir?
Okay, sir. No issues.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sriraman, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's audible, sir.
Audible, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir. So now we can start the section, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Good afternoon to everyone. I welcome you all for a one-week short-term training program on the topic of technology startup and pattern production strategy, that is empowering young innovators. From March 21 to March 25, which is connected by the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today is the section 6 on the big topic of the how can innovation be commercialized, which is going to speak by the Mr. M. Sriraman, State President, All India Startup and Entrepreneur, Association and Manager, Annamalai Innovations and Incubations Research Foundation, Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. He is a chemical engineering graduate from Annamalai University. He is working as a manager in Annamalai Innovations and Incubation Research Foundation, EDII, in Annamalai University. He is currently acting as a state president of All India Startup Entrepreneur Association, Tamil Nadu chapter. He is also acting as a mentor of change for Adult Tinkering Lab at NIT, Ministry of Planning Commission, Government of India. He has published one book chapter and more than 14 research papers in the domain of food and environmental biotechnology. He has received a Best Paper Award for one of his publications in 2019. He has worked in the various research projects of Annamalai University, Indian Institute of Technology, Goldwar, CSIR, India Institute of Chemical Technology, and CSIR, Northeastern Institute of Science and Technology. He is an active lifetime member of a Scientific and Technical Research Association by the Startup Community, Tamil Robotics Club, Environmentalist Foundation of the India, and Head Start Network Foundation. He also have an experience as a principal investigator in the funded project of institution in engineers in India. On the behalf of Karpavane College of Engineering Technology, I welcome you all. And sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the warm welcome. I will share my screen.
Yes, sir. Now. Yes, sir. The screen is visible, sir.
Wait a minute, sir. I will go for full screen mode.
Full screen, sir. Yes, sir. Full screen.
Is my full screen is visible, sir? I'm changing my slides. Can you?
No, sir.
Now I'm in full screen mode, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm changing
yes,
my
sir.
slides. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the confirmation.
Thank you, sir.
And good afternoon, dear participants. Hope everyone had your lunch. And today we are going to see about how can we commercialize inventions and innovations. So the scope of today's session will be, first we will have an introduction on entrepreneurship and startup, and we will see about the process of innovation or invention development and commercialization in a stage-by-stage approach. Initially, I will explain about the entire process in brief, and I will go for innovation ecosystem enablers in India and the innovation or invention essentials. After that, I will also throw some light on opportunities and funding schemes available in government side, state government and central government for commercializing innovations and inventions. I hope a dedicated session is there in the last day, and Dr. Bhaskaran, who is the Joint Director of Ideation, which is our funding agency, is handling the session. So sir have more experience on funding schemes. But anyhow, I will throw some little light on that area also. that is funding schemes available in state and central government for commercializing inventions. So this will be the scope of today's session. Let me start the session with a short warm-up activity. So in my slide, there are two terminologies. And I hope today is the third day of this STTP. So I know that these terminologies are not new to you guys. So if anyone unmute yourself and share your views on entrepreneurship and startup, it will be easy for me to take over the session. I just want to know about your level of understanding on these two terminologies. So please share your views so that I can deliver content accordingly. The time is 2 p.m. I know it's a difficult time for both delivering a lecture and listening to a lecture. That's why I want to take the session in an interactive manner, so that if communication is open in both ways, it will be engaging and the session will go good.
Hello.
Yes, the process of building up a business, Mr. Siva.
Yes, man. An
These
entrepreneur.
terminologies for entrepreneurship or business startup. I heard some other voice. Any other answers apart from that chatbot's answer?
Yes, an entrepreneur is an individual who creates a new business.
Okay, fine, good.
And the process of setting up a business is known as entrepreneurship.
And the second terminology?
In startup, actually, it's like starting with a new idea, and after some team formation, the idea is taken ahead to develop it into a prototype and test it, and further, after getting enough funding, it goes across for manufacturing or in the service providing system.
Okay, fine. Actually, your voice is not that much audible, but I got somewhat from your answer. Anyhow, thanks for making an attempt to answer this terminology. So let's see the difference between these two terminology. Before that, entrepreneurship or entrepreneur is a person who takes risk. Actually, entrepreneur is the word derived from Latin language, which means adventurer. So what adventurers like? Adventurers like to take risk, right? So entrepreneurs are also a person who loves to take risk and start their own venture in a unique way. And startups are early stage companies selling innovative product or service, and they are dependent on human potential rather than investment. So this is the definition for this terminology. And the difference between these terminology is that entrepreneurship is adding little innovation in a conventional business. Please make a note that I have highlighted little innovation word and business. So entrepreneurship is adding little innovation in a conventional business, and startups are making huge business out of an innovation. So today's session is related with innovation, right? That's why I wanted to explain about these two terminologies initially. And I have an example also to make it more simple and clear. Let's take the story of Tea Time. I hope everyone is aware of this Tea Time startup. They started from a petty shop in Andhra Pradesh in a city called Rajamandri railway station. Now they are a private limited company and they have branches in 5 states, 5 southern states of India. In the initial stage, they started selling their authentic Assam tea recipe in their petty shop located in Andhra Pradesh railway station, that is Rajamandri railway station. So actually their recipe was very, very unique. That is their little innovation, and they introduced that little innovation in their conventional business, and they got much revenue from their shop. Later, they scaled their recipe as a brand called Desi Tea Time India Private Limited in 5+ states of southern India. So this is called as startup. Out of the simple innovation or invention, they scaled it into a huge business. So this is nothing but a startup. I hope with this example, you are clear about adding little innovation in a conventional business and making huge business out of an innovation or invention. So let me get into the session directly. And the process of commercializing an innovation or invention. I will explain this with a stage-by-stage approach. So here are the phases of commercializing an invention or innovation. First, we will start with stage 1, which is ideation. And in stage 2, we will see about pre-incubation. And in stage 3, we will see about incubation, which is the most essential phase. In incubation phase only, we will get revenue. So which is considered as the most essential phase. And in stage 4, it is nothing but a scale-up stage. That is acceleration stage. But out of these 4 stages, the major role is played by incubation stage for commercializing an invention. So which will be the apt topic for today's session. And here is the entire process in brief. So in all institutions, all educational institutions like Karpura Vinayaka College of Engineering Technology, we will have R&D center. In R&D center, only the lead for innovation or invention begins. Actually, in R&D center, ideation will be carried out, and in technical feasibility or POC development, proof of concept development, all will be conducted in R&D center or R&D stage. Later in IAC or EDC, so this STPP is sponsored by IAC, Institution Innovation Council, right? So in every institution, most of the institutions have Institution Innovation Council or Entrepreneurship Development Cell. So they are called as pre-incubator, and in the pre-incubator, the ideas will be converted into a business model canvas. And basically these enablers will help the candidates to develop their business model canvas. We will also see about it in our today's session. And third incubator plays the dominant role in commercializing invention or innovation, as I told earlier. Incubator, around 81 incubators are currently active in Tamil Nadu, out of which the Annamalai Innovation Incubation Research Foundation of Annamalai University is also recognized as top 12 business incubator among the 81 incubators. So in incubator, the business model canvas will be converted into a prototype or a minimum viable product. And at the end of the incubator, the product will reach go-to-market stage, GTM stage. So in this GTM stage only, you will get revenue and you can commercialize your invention or innovation. So incubator is playing dominant role in commercializing an innovation or invention out of the 4 centers. And finally, in accelerator, the commercialized or pre-commercialized inventions will be scaled up using the help of angel investor or venture capitalist. So these are the 4 centers which are playing dominant role in invention commercialization, and out of which incubator is playing the most dominant role in commercializing an invention. And who can invent or who can innovate and who can start a startup? This is a major doubt in everyone's mind today. I hope so. So any individual about 18 with an innovative idea can start their own startup or innovate their product with the help of government of India and state government. And the student, or in case of students, they may be studying UG, PG, PhD, postdoctoral fellowship, anything. They may be studying anything, or they may be illiterate. But if they are having an innovative idea, their idea can be commercialized with the support of government bodies. And also, if full-time faculty, so I hope many faculty members are participating in today's session. A full-time faculty member is also permitted. But if they are permitted by their employer, they can easily commercialize their invention and start their own startup. So these are the eligibility criteria in India. These criteria are framed by Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Government of India, which comes under Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So So here are the innovation ecosystem enablers in India. Actually, already we saw about the 4 enablers: R&D cells, IAC, that is pre-incubators, and incubators and accelerators. So here are the various pre-incubators, that is Ministry of Education's Innovations, Institution Innovation Council, Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institutes, E-cells and E-hubs, Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan 2.0, Entrepreneurship Innovation and Career Hub Foundations, Department of Science and Technologies, Newgen IEDC Hub. So these are all the primary ecosystem enablers, invention or innovation ecosystem enablers in our India. So they are called pre-incubators. And these primary enablers provide support from ideation to business plan preparation through various pre-structured training programs like today's STTP. And the secondary enablers are, which are the most important key players in commercializing invention or innovation, or incubators. So in our country, Atal Incubation Center are there. They are funded by Atal Innovation Mission. Bairak Bionest are there. And Department of Science and Technology, NSTDB incubators are there. Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute incubators are there. So we are incubator funded by Ideation, and Msme incubators are there. Pradhan Mantri's Formalization of Micro Food Enterprises incubators are there, which is dedicatedly formed for commercializing food-based inventions. And ITBI, Nidhi ITBI is there. I think Nidhi TBI is already active in some part of our country. And MeitY startup hubs are also there, which is dedicatedly built for developing electronics and circuit branch based inventions. And these secondary enablers, they plays the major role in commercialization invention. I'm again stressing this point, so which is most relevant to today's session. So far we saw about the 4 stages of commercializing and invention, and also we saw about the ecosystem enablers in commercializing and invention, and eligibility criteria for commercializing and invention. So the 4 stages, stage approach, I have already displayed. I will explain more about all the 4 stages. We will start with stage 1, which is ideation stage. Ideation stage is the base stage for commercializing an invention. Everything starts with ideation. So all you need initially is ideation. And what is an innovative idea? And I'm again stressing that point. And what is an innovative idea? An innovative idea is an idea which is novel and which can create a huge impact upon implementation. And
sir, Sriram sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, video மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் ஆன் பண்ணீங்களா சார்?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is it okay now, sir?
Yes, sir. Now is thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So initially, I have explained the 4 stages of commercializing an invention. So let me explain stage by stage. First, we will start with ideation. And for ideation, an innovative idea is important. And an innovative idea which is feasible and can create a huge impact upon implementation is highly essential in ideation stage. So let me explain more about an innovative idea with an example. So how can an idea create a huge impact? So how is it possible? Yes, an idea can create a huge impact when it can solve huge societal problems. So start with problem statement identification and not with novelty identification. That is my kind advice. So let me explain this with an example. Here is an evolution of suitcase industry. So in olden days, during World War period, army people used to carry heavy suitcases, which are in the left bottom of my slide. So these type of suitcases are very, very heavy to carry. And later, some trolley were introduced in the market to carry these heavy suitcases. And in 2000th century, many suitcase manufacturing companies such as American Tourister and VIP introduced trolley suitcase in market. So trolley suitcase is simply an innovation which solves a huge societal impact. So what is the impact it is solving? What is the impact it is creating? Let me explain this. So in this suitcase, in the existing suitcase, they have simply added 4 wheels in the bottom. So that is the innovation. The innovation is very, very, very simple. Not much technology is involved. Not much mathematics is involved. Not much engineering is involved. So it is very, very simple. The innovation is very, very simple, but it made huge impact in travel and tourism industry. It created a relief for travel freaks and persons who used to travel often. So the simple wheels reduced the pain of carrying or lifting these heavy suitcases. Like that, your innovation should also be impact centric rather than novelty centric. Your novelty may be little, your novelty may be small, but the impact it can create in the market should be very, very, very high. So this is the example I would like to quote. And here is the strategy for identifying problem statement. Already I have told that in case if you are going to commercialize your invention, you should start with problem statement identification, right? So what are the strategies available for identifying problem statement? Let me start with design thinking strategy, which is the most common strategy used for identifying problem statement. So design thinking is a big ocean. So I will basically explain about the first 3 phases of design thinking alone. First 3 phases of design thinking are empathizing, defining, and ideating. The later stages of design thinking are prototyping and testing. Let me start with empathizing. Empathizing means understanding the user's needs and problem from user point of view. So you have to think everything in user aspect, and then you can define your problem statement. You can analyze your observation and define it to a particular problem statement. After that, you can generate idea which could solve that problem statement. So you can think of solution from each aspect to solve that particular problem. So these are the 3 major phases of design thinking, which is associated with today's session. And the 4th phase and 5th phase are prototyping and testing. After ideating, you will go for prototyping in order to commercialize your product. And before commercialization, pre-commercialization, you should definitely go for testing, right? So this is the design thinking strategy. And out of box thinking strategy. In case if you are going to identify a problem statement and identify a solution that can fit into the problem statement, you should think out of box. So let me have a puzzle. So here are some numbers in my slide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 number is missing, which is where the question mark is there. So it is a short puzzle related to out of box thinking. So can anyone point out the missing number? I got some answer in chat box. 6. And if you explain the logic behind your answer, it will be good. Actually, 6, I appreciate your efforts, but it is not a correct answer. Any other answer apart from 6? I've already told that this is an out of box thinking puzzle. So you should think out of the box. In order to commercialize an innovation or invention, out of box thinking is highly essential, because everything starts with ideation, right? And for ideation, out of box thinking is highly essential. Number 2, good, but it is not the right answer. And if you explain the logic means, I will be much happy. What is the logic behind number 2? How number 2 came here? So, okay, let me give a clue. The missing figure is not a number, it's just a character. So that is the clue. R, who is that? Jnana Janish, Mr. Jnana Janish J. How R comes here? Can you explain the logic? Mr. Jnana Janish. Is Fatima Begum. It's is not the correct answer. Jnana Janish, reverse as in gear. Yes, exactly. Hats off to you, Mr. Jnana Janish. So your answer is exactly correct. Really, I appreciate you because you thought out of box, which is very, very essential for commercializing an invention. And you answered the puzzle correctly. So hats off to you. As Mr. Jnana Janish told that this is a gear assembly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and not 6, but R. So this is the gear assembly. That's why I have told that you have to think out of box to answer this puzzle. So hats off to you, Jnana Janish. And let me step into the next part of the session. I hope you are clear of ideation stage. And after generating idea, you have to carry out feasibility studies. In case of technical feasibility studies, it may be carried out in your R&D cell, in your institution's R&D cell, with the help of a mentor who have much expertise in that particular field. And for market feasibility, you should follow these two questions. Your market feasibility, in order to carry out market feasibility for your idea, you have to evaluate whether your idea is need of hour or not, and whether your idea can make huge impact or not. So these are the criteria for conducting market feasibilities. And then I hope you are clear of stage 1 in commercializing an invention, which is ideation stage. So let me step into the next stage, that is pre-incubation. As I told that Institution Innovation Council and Entrepreneurship Development Cell are playing dominant role in commercializing innovation in the stage 2. So in stage 2, you will go for proving your concept. You will conduct proof of concept experiments, and then you will go for team building, because in all IIC and entrepreneurship development centers, you will get to know about like-minded people who are passionate on entrepreneurship. So it will be very useful for you to build your team, and you can find your co-founder and founders there and other executives there. And in IIC and stage 2, you can frame your brand name, you can decide your logo, you can select your slogan. So all the preliminary things can be done in this pre-incubation stage. After that, finally, you have to prepare a business model canvas with your idea. So let me explain this about the 4th business model canvas. So this is lean canvas, which is the most common business model canvas used for every pitch. Lean canvas or business model canvas starts with problem statement identification, as I told earlier. First, you have to point out your problem, and you have to segment your customers. Who are your target customers? Whether your customers are gender-centric, or whether your customers are age-centric, or whether your customers are fashion-centric, like that, you have to segment your customers. And then in 3rd slide, you can explain about your unique value proposition. So unique value propositions are nothing but your unique selling points. So what are the novelty and uniqueness involved in your product can be invention, or product can be described here. And in 4th slide, only you can speak about your solution and technology. Most of the business model canvas covers only about the business aspect. Around 20% weightage only will be given for technical aspect. Remaining 80% weightage is only for business aspects. So please make a note of it. Only in 4th slide, you can explain about your solutions technical aspects. After that, you have to point out about your unfair advantage. Unfair advantage is also known as unique strategic assets. So what are the unique strategic assets you are going to follow to prevent the copyability of your product can be explained here. And in 6th slide, you can segment your revenue streams. So how are you going to generate revenue? whether you are going to sell your product in e-commerce sites or whether you are going to sell your invention or product in a retailer model or franchise model. Like that, you have to segment your revenue streams. And in 7th slide, you can explain about your cost structure. You have to classify cost structure into fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost means the non-recurring expenditure, and variable cost means the recurring expenditure. Those costs can be quoted here. And in 8th slide, you can mention about key metrics. Most of the business pitch will be much focusing on the first 7 slides only. 8th and 9th slide are almost optional. Do not say optional, but it is not that much important. And in 8th slide, you have to explain about key metrics. Key metrics are nothing but they are the indicators of your success. For example, a YouTube channel, their subscriber count is their key metrics. For an engineering college, the placement number of students getting placed per year or their key metrics. Like that, what is your invention key metrics? You have to explain about that in your 8th slide. And in 9th slide, you can mention about your channels. Channels means, again, you can explain that about your retailer model or franchise model, distributor model, wholesaler model. Those things can be mentioned in 9th slide. So this is the key tips for preparing business model preparation. It is a big topic. I just throw some lights on that topic. After developing your business model canvas, you have to approach the stage 3, that is incubators for commercializing your invention. So this is the major key player in commercializing invention. I'm again and again stressing that point. And in incubation stage, you will start with company incorporation. So company incorporation means there are many classification of company incorporation, but as per DP80 norms, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade norms, you should be registered as a LLP firm, limited liability partnership firm, or a private limited firm, or an partnership firm to get startup recognition in India. So you have to incorporate your company in these 3 categories, in any of these three categories. After incorporating your company, you should open your startup current account. I hope you are aware of current account, and the startup current account advantage is that you will get number of vouchers when you open a startup account. So this Bank of Baroda startup current account, you can maintain 0 balance after a particular period of lock-in period. And also you will get vouchers around worth 1 lakh. You can get Vakil Search credits, Amazon Web Service credits, and IBM, Microsoft credits. You can all get all the software package credits along with the startup current account. Many banks such as Yes Bank, ICICI Bank, HDFC Startup current account, etc. are providing dedicated startup current account. Then after that, you have to get recognized under Ministry of Corporate Affairs as a startup. So Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade is the regulatory body which is able to issue startup recognition certificate, and you have to apply for that and you can get startup recognition certificate. Other registration which are optional or GST registration, import export code registration. In case if you are dealing with import and export, you can obtain IEC registration and Udyam portal registration. So it will be very much helpful for you to avail Mudra loan, need loan, like that. You can avail District Industry Center loan using this Udyam portal registration ID card. Earlier it was called as Udyog Aadhar. Now it is known as Udyam portal registration. After that, you can get at least a co-working space available with an incubator for commercializing your invention. You can work on that co-working space 24/7. And for developing your invention or innovation, you can get mentorship support from your incubation center, because most of the incubation center are associated with a higher education institution. So higher education institution, academic and research experts will be there. In case if your area of expertise is particularly fitting into your particular professor's area of expertise, you can avail their mentorship support. And you can also get internship support, as your incubator will be mostly associated with a higher education institution. You can hire student intern at a nominal stipend rates. And using the facilities available in incubation center, you can develop your prototype. And in early stage, it will be very difficult for innovators and inventors to develop their own product with their own premises or own technical things. In case if they want to print their 3D model, they can use the 3D printer available with the technology business incubator at a nominal cost. And in case they need to develop a PCB printed circuit board, they can use an electronic workbench available with that incubation center. Like that, you can hire every equipment which is available within your incubation center to develop your invention or product. After that, you can also go for testing, validation, and certification from your incubation center. Many incubation centers will have good brand name. So if you are getting a certificate, testing and validation report from that incubation center, it will be definitely very much helpful for you in terms of marketing aspects. After that, you can go for IPR filing of your invention. IPR is also highly essential. And our incubation center is associated with the IPR LLB. Dr. Balaji Ganesh, who is the founder of that. I hope tomorrow he is handling a session on intellectual property rights. So many incubation centers are almost associated with a patent agent. So patent agent and IPR attorney, so that you can easily file your own IPR. And the next stage is go-to-market stage, which is the incubator graduation stage and final stage of incubator. Here you have two options to commercialize your innovation or invention or product. In option one, you can directly market your product and scale up later using the accelerators. In option two, you can transfer your technology. That means you can sell your IP and exit from that particular company. The final stage of this incubator, that is the go-to-market stage, is the major stage which generates revenue for your invention. So after this, accelerators plays a dominant role in scaling your revenue or scaling your invention or product. Accelerators help you in marketing strategy implementation. They help you in growth consultation service availing, and also they give you expansion support, networking support, and they also connect you with angel investors and venture capitalists. So mainly accelerator is used for scaling up your revenue or scaling up your invention or product. But the incubator only helps you to commercialize invention at your early stage. Angel investors, most of accelerators have tie-up with prominent angel investor in our country. Actually, angel investor is a person or a company providing capital for a startup. So what is the profit? What is the reason for providing capital for a startup? They will provide capital for a startup subject to exchange for ownership, equity, or convertible debt. And the difference between angel investor and bank is that bank provides fund for established business, and bank mostly prefers collateral document from your side. But angel investor will only look for idea. They will only look for level of innovation in your invention. So they provide fund for a budding startup, and they encourage entrepreneurship at the grassroots level. But bank is not like that. They will provide only fund for established business because they would like to be risk-free. And venture capitalists are also having tie-up with accelerators in our country. Venture capital is also a company providing capital for a startup. They are also providing capital subject to exchange or ownership, equity, or convertible debt. But the key difference between angel investor and venture capitalist is that angel investor put their own funding, but venture capitalists are nothing but they are the intermediator between an investor and a startup. So they will provide you only pooled funding and not their own funding. And as I told earlier, in accelerator stage, your invention can be commercialized in incubation stage itself, and it can be scaled up in accelerator stage using this angel investor support and venture capitalist support. So here are the prominent websites and brand names of popular angel investor in our country. So please take a snapshot of this slide. You can Google it later to commercialize your invention. And here are the popular venture capitalist website. So take a snapshot of it. I will also share my slides after this session through Dr. Prem Kumar. It will be very much useful for you to commercialize your invention. So we are entering into the final part of the session. So far we saw about the various stages of commercializing and invention, and we saw the importance of incubation stage in commercializing and invention. We saw about the various invention and innovation ecosystem enablers in our country. And we also saw about the eligibility criteria for developing an innovation or invention and starting a startup. So if you have any doubts, you may clear it now. And now we are going to see about funding schemes and opportunities for commercializing and innovation. I hope in last day, Dr. Bhaskar sir is delivering a dedicated session on funding opportunities available for startups and entrepreneurs. But anyway, I will throw some little light on opportunities for commercializing inventions and innovations in today's session. And in case of schemes and opportunities available for entrepreneurship development, definitely DIC plays a prominent role. So DIC means District Industry Center. And today's session, I'm not going to focus about those DIC schemes, because DIC schemes is not that much involved in innovation and invention encouragement. Only seed fund, grant and fellowships are involved in encouraging inventions and innovation. So I will only cover those areas, those three areas that are seed fund, grant and fellowship. And definitely Bhaskar sir will explain you about the DIC opportunities available for entrepreneurship development in our country. Sir is an expert on that. So shall I proceed? Any clarification required? Shall we proceed into the final part of the session? Okay. Okay, fine. I will conclude this session with funding schemes and opportunities available for commercializing innovation or invention. First, we will start with government seed fund available in our country. So most of the central government bodies such as Ministry of Human Resource Development is providing you RUSA 2.0 seed funding. RUSA means Rashtriya Uchchata Shiksha Abhiyan, which means National Higher Education Development 2.0 seed funding scheme. So this fund is implemented through various universities in our country, such as Annamalai University, Alagappa University, Bharathiar University, Bharathasan University, Anna University, etc. Through these universities, you will get these RUSA seed funding. The major difference between seed funding, grant, and fellowship is that seed funding has to be repaid with a nominal interest rate, and grants are not needed to be repaid. And fellowship is nothing but a stipend. It's a kind of encouraging stipend. So RUSA will provide you seed fund around 25 lakhs, and you need to repay that seed fund after a period of 1 year of time with a nominal interest rate. For first year, you no need to pay any interest rate. Starting from the second year, you may pay a nominal interest rate. In case of DIC funding, that is District Industry Center, you will get subsidies, but definitely you will need to pay bank interest rate, which is much higher than the seed fund interest rate. So all these DIC funding will be very much helpful for conventional entrepreneurship. But if you are working on innovative invention development or startup, you should go for seed funding or grant or fellowship, because more than DIC grant or a DIC funding, these funding will be very much helpful for you. And next is Department of Science and Technologies, NSTDB Nidhi SSS scheme. NSTDB stands for the National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board. Through this SSS seed support scheme, you can generate 50 lakh seed funding. So as I told you earlier, seed fund is to be repaid after a particular period of time. And also BIRAC, Department of Biotechnology, is providing you Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Enterprises Development Fund, seed fund, through Biotech Industry Research Assistance Council, which is a Government of India enterprises. And this BIRAC seed fund is dedicatedly framed for bio-based entrepreneurs. But in case of MHRD RUSA seed fund and SSS seed fund, you can approach sector agnostic invention. You may be working on any sector, which is not a matter. But in case of BIRAC seed funding alone, you should be working on bio and bio-allied sectors like biomedical, biopharmaceutical, or like that. And now we will see about grant. As I told you earlier, grant is not to be repaid. And there are number of grant available in our country through state government and central government. In my slide itself, you can see that I have put only 3 seed funding schemes in our country, but there are n number of grant schemes available for you guys to commercialize your inventions. First, let me start with RKVY, Raftar Site Scheme. So RKVY, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, which means National Agricultural Development Project of Ministry of Agriculture's Farmers Welfare. It's supporting agripreneurs. Agripreneurs means entrepreneurs who are working on agri sectors and agri-allied sectors with a grant of 25 lakh. So you can imagine that for an agripreneur, they are providing 25 lakh, but this 25 lakh is only provided at scale-up stage and not at initial stage. If you are working in initial stage, they are supporting you through AOP scheme, the same ministry through same project, they are supporting you through AOP scheme. Through that scheme, you can generate 5 lakh per startup, and AOP stands for Agripreneurship Orientation Program. And the major advantage of these 2 schemes is that initially they will provide you training. After that, they will release you the grant amount, so that you can get 2 benefits out of a single scheme. You can get training also, training in entrepreneurship development also, and also you can generate revenue or generate grant for your startup. But the only thing is that you have to work on agri or agri-allied sector to get funding from this Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And EDITN's Innovation Voucher Program, Voucher A and Voucher B. So Bhaskar sir will be definitely explaining more about this. So I will not take much time on this. Actually, in Innovation Voucher Program, they are supporting you through vouchers. Through A voucher, you can get 2 lakh grant, and through B voucher, you can get 5 lakh grant. A voucher is for R&D development, and B voucher is for commercialization. So Bhaskar sir definitely will explain you more about this. And also EDITN's Tamil Nadu Student Innovators Scheme. Through this scheme, you can get 1 lakh grant, and it is only applicable for students. In case of TNSI and in case of IVP, you can submit proposals in any domain. Both are sector agnostic, so you can submit any application in any domain. And again, seed fund, TAN seed fund. So the current TAN seed is active. Through TAN seed fund, you can generate 10 lakh grant. So now TAN seed is coming under Startup TN. Earlier it was with Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institute. And S2G sandbox, startup to government sandbox. Through this scheme, you can generate 50,000 to 5 lakh grant, and it is also a sector agnostic scheme. The major advantage of this scheme is that unlike other schemes, apart from providing you capital, they will also give you networking with government procurement agencies. For example, if you are developing an innovative, if you are inventing or developing an innovative pen, the government will directly connect you with the stationary procurers in various government bodies, apart from providing you fund. And Department of Science and Technologies, Vidhi Prayas. So it is a central government funding. It is also a sector agnostic scheme. Through this scheme, you can generate 10 lakh grant. And MEITI TIDE 2.0. MEITI is a fund of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And TIDE stands for Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurs Grant. This grant is particularly for circuit branch based entrepreneurs. So through this scheme, you can generate 5 to 7 lakh grant per startup. But you should only work on circuit branch based. Circuit branch means ECE, EEE, and I like that. You should only work on circuit branch based innovations or inventions. And Startup India's Prism Scheme. So Prism is promoting innovations in individual startups and MSMEs. In case if you have BPIT recognition certificate, you can generate 20 lakh grant from this scheme. It is a scheme of Startup India. It is also a sector agnostic scheme. And then BIRAC, other BIRAC grants. So BIRAC grant is only for biopreneurs. Biopreneurs means entrepreneurs working on bio sector and bio-allied sector. So if you are working on bio, you should definitely listen to this slide. BIRAC is providing you big grant. Big grant means biotechnology ignition grant. So They are providing you 50 lakh grant to this scheme. And also, in case if you are an academician working on bio sector, you can generate 50 lakh grant to contract research scheme, which is a component of PACE initiative of BIRAC. Through this scheme, you can generate 50 lakh grant in case if you are an academician working on bio sector. And LEAP scheme, LEAP stands for Launching Entrepreneurship Driven and Affordable Products. Through this scheme, you can generate 1 crore funding if you are an biopreneur, and also accelerating entrepreneurs seed fund scheme, which is worth about 7 crores. So BIRAC is providing number of schemes, which is about 7 crores also. And finally, MSME design scheme grant, which is an initiative of Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises. It is also a sector agnostic scheme. In case if an MSME, micro, small, or medium enterprises is looking for developing a designing or prototype, they can make use of this scheme. Through this scheme, they can generate 40 lakhs per startup. And Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. I hope everyone is aware of this scheme. So through this scheme, they are providing you 20 lakh grant and also 50 lakh seed fund. Seed fund is to be repaid and grant is entirely non-repayable amount. So next part is fellowship. So this is the final part, and with this I will conclude today's session. I hope everyone is aware of R&D fellowship available in our country. In case of research scholars are getting numerous support from central government, but nowadays government also started providing fellowship to entrepreneurs who are working on innovative idea. First, we will start with the Department of Science and Technologies, Nidhi Entrepreneur in Residence Scheme. Through this scheme, you can generate 3.6 lakh fellowship per year. That is around 30,000 per month. It is more than an average salary an engineer is getting today. So through this scheme, you can generate 30,000 per month as a fellowship in case if you are working an innovative idea or if you are pursuing entrepreneurship as a career. So please make a note of it. It's a golden opportunity. Nowadays, an average engineer salary is itself a 15,000, but government is providing 30,000 fellowship for an entrepreneur or an inventor or an innovator. And it is also a sector agnostic scheme, so people from any domain can make use of this scheme. And BIRAC's PASH. Again, BIRAC is only intended for bio-based entrepreneurs. Through BIRAC's PASH schemes, PASH means Social Innovation Program for products affordable and relevant to social health. So if you are working on health care of bio sector, you can generate this fellowship, which is about you can avail this fellowship, 50,000 fellowship for you guys to develop your idea. And MATI type EAR. MATI is again a scheme of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and it's only intended for circuit branch based entrepreneurs. Through this scheme, you can generate 3.6 lakhs to 4 lakhs per annum as a fellowship, which is around 30,000 per month. But only thing is you should work on circuit branch based areas. An IIT Kanpur's India Agri-Tech Innovation Network Fellowship, which is also worth about 50,000 per month for a period of 12 months. And only agripreneurs. Agripreneurs means person working on agri and agri-allied sector will be able to make use of this scheme. And with this, I will end up today's session. So far, I hope everyone is clear about the phases of commercializing and invention, and also the opportunities available for commercializing and invention, and what are the key ecosystem enablers in our country for enabling invention development. So now it's time for queries. Here is my contact details. You can make a note of it for future communication. We are always ready to support you guys. I will also share my slides with your Professor Dr. Prem Kumar. Prem Kumar sir, you please circulate the slides to the participants. will be very much useful for them, particularly the opportunities available for commercializing and inventions and the angel investor website, venture capitalist website. I hope definitely all these key points will be very much useful for the participants. Now it's time for queries. Also, you can share your views, or you can discuss your ideas. The forum is open for discussion also. You can share your feedback, share your ideas. You can also use the chat bots.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Riyaz Rafiq. Actually, since I am 40 years old, regarding this BIG SPURS program, there is age limitation of 35 years. And so I cannot apply for that. And the other thing is that
you are talking about SPARS scheme, right?
Yes.
So and 35 years is the age restriction for that scheme.
Yes, that is the problem. Actually, I am telling you the limitations, the problem, why I am unable to get this grants. What the other thing is that Nidhi Prayas.
Nidhi Prayas, yes.
Yes, the problem in the Nidhi Prayas is why I am speaking at this platform, so that the concerned authorities may listen, and if it is raised at the right platform, I believe that this problem can be solved. The Nidhi Prayas, what the problem is with the Nidhi Prayas grant is that they see, I am from Madhya Pradesh. My name is my name is Riyaz Rafiq. I have already invented multiple things. I have got patent as well, but still from the last 3 years, I have been hunting for prototyping grant. Only there is Nidhi Prayas, and moreover, the entire Madhya Pradesh don't have any center here of the Nidhi Prayas. Okay. And the other thing is that Nidhi Prayas don't allow to utilize that grant to pay for the manpower.
Yes.
Moreover, since I am from Madhya Pradesh, I have to relocate. Okay. And the other problem with the Nidhi Prayas is they are not providing fellowship. Even I cannot take it for my personal charges, for my personal expenses. Sorry, for accommodation and all those things.
Yes.
Moreover, in the Nidhi Prayas, there are many centers, Nidhi Prayas centers. I have talked with them. They are dealing like any other things, like brokers. They are telling that you give me some percentage of that, the grant which you are getting. Like that, they are dealing. Hope you are getting what I am saying.
Yes, sir. All these are some of the drawbacks you have faced so far, I think.
Moreover, see, even if I get 10 lakh from the Nidhi Prayas grant, I have to pay the incubation charges of those Nidhi Prayas centers as well. And that I cannot utilize the Nidhi Prayas grant to pay that incubation charges. This is the other problem.
Okay.
There are multiple problems. You just cannot understand. See, I have invested my whole more than 10 years to invent that thing. And ultimately in 2019, I got patent. But still, because of these things, these problems, I cannot get any grant till now.
Yes, sir. Getting a grant is a separate skill set. I have so far explained about the.
But the other thing is that see, the entire Madhya Pradesh don't have any biotechnology research grant center, any biotech scheme center, any Nidhi Prayas center, any Nidhi EIR center. You understand what I'm speaking about?
Okay.
If it is recorded, it is very good. I'm speaking from Singrauli, Madhya Pradesh. Please raise at the right platform. I am requesting you with folded hands. Please raise this issue at the right platform. Since you are in authority, I think you are chairman of any incubation center. You can raise this at the right platform. That people at the other states are really facing too much problems in getting grants.
Sure, sir. I will represent your views. I will definitely represent your views. But the one thing I would like to advise is that in case if you cannot use funding for manpower from Innovators component. And the main thing I would like to advise is that you can use it as a matching grant. You can get Nidhi prayers also, and you can get some other seed from an higher education institution also. Actually, getting a seed fund is not that much complicated like cracking a grant. In case of getting a seed fund also, you will have a number of relaxations.
Actually, last year itself, the Madhya Pradesh have a center of that seed fund scheme. The 25 lakhs you are speaking about, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, the problem is people are very reluctant to believe on you. They don't believe on you unless you don't have prototype. Moreover, see, Nidhi Prayas, BIG, all these schemes, they want us, to the applicants, to work on this 24/7 full time. If I am leaving that job, if I have to relocate, how can I sustain? You can imagine the problem, right?
Yes, sir. But those are the framework decided by Central Government of India.
But there are many loopholes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I agree to you.
Yes.
But the thing we can do is that
age restriction that must be not be first of all, like this for the SPURS program as well. And there are Nidhi ER. See, in Nidhi ER there is fellowship, but in Nidhi Prayas there is no fellowship. There should be fellowship in each everything. I believe so.
Yes. If you are getting EAR, you cannot get
like this. See, even if I get Nidhi Prayas, you are telling that for hiring those manpower, I should go for seed fund, right? But to develop that Nidhi Prayas, I cannot get any grant parallelly. They ask for this while applying. You may be aware with the application form that did you get any grant from this from other agencies? I have to tell them that no, I have not. And until then, they will apply me. And again, if I will for seed fund, unless I cannot develop that model, how can I go for applying for the seed fund? Because people cannot, that committee does not get impressed without any prototype while applying for seed fund scheme. The problem is that. Means ultimately, I'm at the same place, all in van, all the efforts. Actually, I have invested more than 10 years of my life, and I'm at a very crucial stage, believe me, sir.
I can understand your situation, sir. And also, I agree to your pain points, and I also agree that there are some difficulties in many grants provided by the Central Government of India.
Yes.
But the thing is that we can adapt accordingly. I believe so. In case of Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, I hope you are much prominent on many schemes. I hope so, because you are clear picture on Nidhi Prayas and you have clear picture on Bhairaj.
Yes. Actually, see, I have done my engineering in 2005. I have been pursuing research from that time. Okay. I have already a startup. I have already a private limited company. I'm a director.
Okay. Have you gone through Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, sir?
No, actually, because the ideas of medical device and my startup is in the non-medical field. Okay.
Actually, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme is a sector agnostic scheme, sir.
Actually, they need that my startup should be registered within 2 years. My startup have gone more than, it is about to complete 3 years. And I have read
you may start a new firm, sir.
Yeah, that is what I'm telling, because that was for non-medical and the invention is in the field of medical assisted technology. So what I can do is I can register a new company. But the point is that there should be a clear picture that there is a ray of hope, there is a light at the end of tunnel. Hope you are getting what I want to say.
Okay. But you should definitely need to search through this Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, sir, because I hope Startup India Seed Fund Scheme is not asking you for physical presence. They don't ask you to work on your idea 24/7. You can work even virtually through the incubator associated with your Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. And also another one of the drawbacks reported is that the incubation center is claiming for equity. And particularly Startup India, if you are availing Startup India Seed Fund Scheme means any incubator who is acting as a dispersing agency of Startup India Seed Fund Scheme cannot take equity from a startup who is availing that scheme. So that is another advantage of the scheme. Most of the drawbacks you are suggesting are justified by the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. And also, if you are getting any seed fund through higher education institution, you can easily hire manpower also.
Actually, the problem with the seed funds, unless I don't have the prototype MVP, so I cannot impress the committee. I don't think that they will get it, even though I try my best. See, I have to do a lot of assignment before that. I have to register a company in the medical device firm, and then.
Are you owning a DPIT recognized firm, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is your firm is recognized by DPIIT?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. That's great, sir. Then you are certainly eligible for Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. And also it is a sector agnostic scheme. I
Actually,
hope,
for that, I told you, sir, that because I registered in April 2019.
yeah, you may open a
Uh,
new firm. You may
no,
open
yeah,
a new.
that is the thing. But that is what I'm saying, that if there is a light at the end of the tunnel, if there is a clear picture, only and then I can go for registering
Okay.
a second company.
We will do one thing, sir. We'll connect offline.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope you have noted down my number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, definitely. So, in fact, I'm really grateful for this great presentation. Very insightful, very great information you have shared with this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for listening so patiently.
So, any other discussion needed? Do anyone want to discuss about your startup, or do you have any suggestions or feedback, or do you have any queries? Yes, sir. I have shared my contact in chat box also.
Yes, sir. I've taken the screenshot. Thank you very much.
Okay. We will definitely connect in offline and discuss more about. We
Yes,
will have an one-to-one discussion, and we will discuss more about your startup, so that I can get to know about your custom needs, and I
Yes,
can
sir.
suggest the right step to be taken.
Thank you very much, sir.
Surely, I will try my best to help you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Participants, if you have any queries, please ask.
So, Prem Kumar, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, it's audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible. So, thanks for giving me this great opportunity, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I think the participants are that's all, sir. They are not asking questions. Sir, can I wind up the section, sir?
Yes, sir. We may.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, Sri Raman, sir. He gave a wonderful speech how to regarding the startup and the ideas, sir, to our participants and our engineer students, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் வந்து சேட் பாக்ஸில் போஸ்ட் பண்ணுறேன். இப்போ இனிமேல் தான் போஸ்ட் பண்ண போகிறேன். இதை பார்த்து உங்கள் ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் ஃபில் பண்ணிவிட்டு அதை சென்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
So shall I leave now, sir?
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
போடுறதா